my name is Furkan Ibrahim. This is my partner, Abby Johnson. We both work for Johnson and Johnson for the Ethicon Surgical Technologies Surgery Department, and we just like to, discuss a few words with you, if that's okay.
Hey, nice to meet you both. Yeah, that's totally fine with me.
Awesome. So Furquan and I are both account managers, and we've been in this position for about 2 years each, and we've had the opportunity to help numerous ortho surgeons solve problems with our products. Before we get started, I see that you're from Houston. Did you happen to follow the Astros in the World Series by chance?
I did watch them, however, I'm not really into baseball, but it was a terrific win.
Yeah, awesome. We
Yeah,
always love to see the morale that it brings to a community when such a huge accomplishment takes place.
yeah.
Well, we don't want to take up much of your time. We just want to discuss. It's just like a discussion call, to see if, you're interested in our product, and we just want to know a little bit about the difficulties your company is facing. So is a 10-minute timer good for you?
That sounds perfectly fine.
Good.
Awesome. Before we get into our product, we would like to ask you just a few questions. And by the end of this call, we want to run some numbers by you to see if Jordan Orthopedic would like to move forward with Ethicon. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. So my first question is, are you the sole decision maker of the company?
Yeah, I represent my company and I ultimately will be making the decision for them.
Okay. And I know you've been with Jordan Orthopedic for a while, so can you tell me a little bit about the situation going on with you guys?
Yeah, I've been with the Jordan Orthopedic Group with around 8 years. So we've been very successful with a surgical process involving the hip and knee replacement.
Okay.
3 out of 5 of our doctors actually use staples and sutures, and we've noticed some issues with them. So that's the solution we're looking for as of today.
Oh, can you elaborate on some of the issues that you've been facing regarding the suture and staple practice?
Yeah, so we have two main issues. One of them being that we've noticed a link with the increase on-site infections, and the second being that the operative healing process has actually been lengthy, and the scarring that we've also noticed on our patients have been larger than usual.
Wow, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Well, if these issues aren't resolved, what kind of consequences could we be facing in the short term and the long term?
In the short run, we actually see more complaints associated with the surgeries, and then eventually that will lead into less customer referrals and a decline in customers.
Hmm. Well, that's something that we definitely don't want for your company. And we think that Ethicon has a few solutions for your issues. Are you willing to hear about those?
Yeah,
Oh, awesome. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, can you see this?
yeah, I see it.
Already. So I just want to start by playing just a quick introductory video about our product, the Dermabond Preneo. This just runs through what it does and how useful it will be and some of the benefits that your clients will see with this.
Sounds good.
Here's how it works. A lightweight mesh is applied over your incision and then coated with a skin adhesive to form a strong, flexible seal. A watertight barrier blocks water and bacteria from entering the wound, and then it falls off naturally, unlike staples which can be painful to remove. Enjoy an optimal wound healing environment, easier aftercare with no dressings to change, and greater post-operative comfort. Hear what Dermabond Preneo patients have to say.
It's just so much more convenient. You can shower, you can get it wet, and you lead more of a normal life. After the Dermabond Preneo came off, it was wonderful. It's such a fine scar line.
Enjoy greater satisfaction with the appearance of your scar. Get back to the things you love in no time.
So I just wanted to show that just to give like a good brief explanation on what we're presenting to you today. Um, Really, I want to focus on the advantages that we can have and what Dermabond Prenio offers that will help avoid those surgical site infections and those nasty scars that you're bringing up. So in the video, it brought up, it had that watertight barrier. So that will keep bacteria from entering and affecting the wound. This will really help prevent those surgical site infections that you mentioned. Also, as far as the scar, I added some pictures here just for us to get a good idea of what we're looking at. So up top in the top left, this is what it typically looks like with staples and sutures. So it's nasty. It's typically very painful as well. Those staples are they don't allow flexibility or breathability, and you have to have bandages. There's just a lot of complications that can come with it. But right below that, this is what it looks like with Dermabond Premio attached to your wound. So it's very clean, it's very easy, and there's no return to the doctor to remove the Dermabond Premio product. On the right over here, I know you mentioned that y'all are concerned with those nasty scars. I just wanted to show you, this is what a clean healed scar after Dermabond Prenio looks like on one of our patients. So it's a very straight line, and it's going to definitely help out with those ugly scars that you mentioned. Some other features that we have, there's no bandages required. You just have the Dermabond Prenio over it. There's no dressing or anything there. There's also no wait to shower because there is that watertight bond that keeps bacteria out. It also keeps liquid water and liquid form out as well. So no H2O is going to affect it, which means they can get in the shower as soon as they're done with surgery. Furthermore, I already mentioned there's none of that train track wound, that ugly scar that's left. Do you have any questions about Dermabond Prenio that I can clear up before or expand upon before we move on?
No, I really don't. I mean, the product seems exactly what we're looking for, and otherwise than that, there's no questions.
Awesome, perfect.
Okay, so now let's move forward to pricing. So for pricing, I have two different options for you. There's a 5-year contract and there's a 10-year contract. This is the 5-year contract. Let me elaborate a little bit on it. So the way it works is that the price per unit is $150 for the 22 centimeters one. And the way I designed it is that, within a span of a year, if you purchase 1,500 units, you get a $5 rebate per unit. So you'll get $7,500 back per year if you purchase 1,500 22 centimeters. Same situation if you purchase 2,022 centimeter product, you'll get $10 rebates, and you'll save a total of $20,000 per year. And same situation for the 42 centimeter, but the number of units is lower because I know you guys mostly focus on hip and knee surgeries, so you won't need the 42 centimeter as much. But I still have it where if you purchase 500 units, you get a $6 rebate per unit, and 1,000 if you purchase 1,000 units, and $8 per rebate per unit. And Abby, do you mind going to the next slide for me, please?
No, I don't.
And this is the next one. It's the rebate amount is the same, but the only difference is that this is a 10-year contract, and the price per unit has dropped $5. So instead of being 150 for the 22 centimeter, it's 145, and instead of being 200, it's 195 for the 42 centimeters. So how do you feel about the product now, given the pricing?
The product seems, perfectly exactly what we're looking for. However, we are fairly hesitant on the price because we're not trying to break our budget of $250,000 a year.
I see.
Yeah.
So your biggest issue is price, correct?
Yeah, I would say that's our main issue.
Okay, sure. So we can work. Let me elaborate a little bit on why the pricing is what it is. So my suggestion is you go with the 10-year contract, and the reason is because the way the market is, it always goes up and down, as well as the economy, right? So this $145 price for the 22 centimeter is always going to be locked. So no matter where the economy goes or the market goes for the skin closure system, it's always going to be 145. So you don't know, maybe 7-8 years later, the market around you is, your competition is paying $200 per unit, but then you're still paying 145 for that unit. So in my opinion, in the long run, that will save a lot of money and it'll end up increasing your profit margins, especially after your surgeries. And one thing I can do for you is, if you purchase 1,500 units of the 22 centimeter, your total price is $210. $200,000. And like you said, you don't want to spend more than 250,000, correct? So instead of having a minimum of 500 units for the 42 centimeter, I'll just change that to no minimum. Whatever 42 centimeter skin closures you get, I will give you rebates on all of them, every single unit you purchase. So if you want to purchase only $40,000 worth of 42 centimeters, that's fine with me. I'll still give you the rebate on that. So
Right.
does that make you feel a little bit better on the pricing?
Yeah, it does make me feel a bit better. However, I would say our another big concern is the timeline of which how long it would take for us to switch into using the product. So
Mhm.
we would have to, retrain our staff, get them used to using the Dermabond. So I would like to ask you, what can you do for us on that? Because that's our biggest concern as of right
Yeah.
now.
Right. So I understand that you're having an issue with timing and training as far as the timeline, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I get that. But as you stated, if you continue with the suture practice, even in the short run, you will face severe consequences such as losing your customers and customer complaints, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So this is an issue that needs to be resolved fairly urgently. As far as training on the application of the Dermabond Preneo, we showed a brief video that showed it. In that little clip that I showed, it had the application there. Also, Ethicon has numerous videos on YouTube that go through the process in more further depth than this video did. If we're still hesitant there, we can also schedule a training to happen between Ethicon and your staff, in which we will send people out to one-on-one train your staff how to use our product. Does this resolve your feelings about the timing and training with Dermabond?
I think if we're able to get some of your guys' employees from Ethicon to go into our, surgery rooms to actually train our doctors and staff, that would be tremendously great.
Yeah, awesome.
Right. So that sounds good. We'd be more than happy to send our training team. So does that make you confident and do we have, an agreement with you to sign a 10-year contract with us?
Yeah, I'm excited to move forward with this and transition into Ethicon.